Welcome back to a new edition of 3 Up, 3 Down Shorts podcast. I'm your host, Brian Hunter, and I welcome you guys to the second edition of our episode here. So, just like last week, or 2 weeks ago, my apologies, 2 weeks ago, we only had a short little 16-minute episode. This one might be a little longer due to our guests that we're having on here to talk about their Hitter and Pitcher of the Week awards. But normally, we would spend some time going over previewing the games that we're going to be having that same week, but we have a league bye week this week. So with that being said, I figured we'd just kind of have an update on the standings and kind of put that out there to light. Now, obviously, all this information can be found out on our websites. Go to mowiff.com. Standings are right there at the bottom. If you scroll to the middle of the page, standings can always be found right there for your viewing pleasure. And if not, you can always look at our stats and stats page as well, because standings will be full blast there to where you can see all the ins and outs. But with that being said, let's dig into the American League. So as you can see, the Mojo, after they swept the Archers this past week, they moved in that first place, a half game up on the Mambas. Now the Mambas haven't played in a month, so there's going to be one of those things whenever they get a couple games in. On top, I'm going to be interested to see where they sit in this division. But the Mojo, they battled and clawed their way back. And having Gus come back for the last 2 weeks, 2 series, have really been a jolt that they needed. So is that kind of the momentum that we see moving forward with them? With Gus only going to be here a couple more weeks here in the summer, can they maintain? Do they need him? I don't know. When that roster all determines on who shows up and who's available for him on a week-in, week-out basis. The Mambas, sitting in second place there. Obviously, we know that they're leading the league right now in run differential with a plus 30. 30. It's nuts. I mean, they definitely got the offense that can mash. Is that offense going to be enough for this slate of games that they're coming through to finish the season? It's a little bit of a gauntlet. So we're really going to know about what this Mamba team is when it comes down to the playoff time. So, I mean, iron only sharpens iron. What do they say? Iron sharpens iron, or steel sharpens steel. It's going to be one of those things where I think they're going to be playoff ready. And once they make that playoffs, they're going to be a tough team to play against. After getting swept by the Mojo, that moves us to the Archers that fall all the way down to third, a half game out. And it's strictly by win percentage that puts them there. Obviously, they've played 2 more games than what the Mambas have. But I mean, that's just kind of where they're at. They make the big trade this past week, the Archers did, with acquiring Sam Eichenlaub. So, with their kind of miscues with the summer here, where Klein going to miss some time due to his baseball schedule, and with everybody else potentially not being able to be there, if whether it's vacations or whatnot, picking up Eichenlaub, somebody who can pitch, another bat in that lineup, it's in my opinion an excellent trade for them. And then we got the Kings, where the Kings with the addition of Jordan Smith, what does that look like for them going here on out? They're 4-5. They're only a game and a half out of first. A good, just a good series or good string of series here could put them right back in the hunt for the top of the division. So we've talked about how this American League has, been a tight race. It's only gotten tighter, which to me is fun because you never, it just means meaningful games, from here on out. So it's going to be one of those things where that American League race is going to be fun to watch. And who potentially is on the outside looking in, or is it that all 4 of them make the playoffs? Who knows? Who knows what happens? I know I've said it before. I thought it was going to be a sprint this year and then maintain. Oh, no, it's going to be a marathon. It's going to be a marathon here for the American League, and that's going to be tons of fun. So moving on to the National League, Thunderbirds are half game up on the Purge, and that's strictly just due to the fact that the Purge have played one more game than what the Thunderbirds have. So I mean that's just kind of how that cookie crumbles. So I'm happy to see my Thunderbirds up on top of the board right now in the National League. But we know that it's going to be a hard battle for the rest of the season to make sure we maintain there, so we can go to the playoffs in a seated well and in a good seat to make a deep run. Like I said, the Purge, they split their last series just beautiful fashion with the Kings. You'll hear a little bit more probably next week on the podcast, or at least I'm going to try to make it where we get to talk to the pitchers of that duel. Both of them go 6 innings. It was just nuts, pitch for pitch. And when I say pitch for pitch, I mean literal the amount of pitches. It's just crazy in Wheeler and what Wheeler and Ballman did that game. But that game went to a home run derby, and it kind of fell the wayside of the fell to the Kings there. And I mean, it was just a great game to watch overall. The third place team in the National League, you're looking at the Bombers right now, 2 games back. So they're not out of it. They still have Cam Smith, who is just a few years removed away from being one of the top 10 players in the country. So I mean, he's definitely got the ability. It's not like he lost it, right? Injuries are one thing, but he's still the reigning Cy Wiffle Award winner. So, with him on the mound, who knows what's going to happen? They won a game last week or a couple weeks ago, and he didn't even have anything to do with it except being on the mound. So offensively, his team is clicking right now. Are they able to continue that stretch when in their next slate of games? Only time will tell. I'm looking forward to what next week brings. Then to round it up, we get the Melonheads, obviously not having the year that they wanted to have on paper. So it's tough. It's tough for them, right? But they're still a fun team to come out and watch. A lot of jabbing back and forth, a lot of good things happening. The trade for Andrew Ballman is going to be, Andrew, sorry, Drew. But for Drew Ballman, is going to, how's that going to pay off for him? Just in the long run, and just the longevity of playing with that team, and kind of just somebody who's excited to be there and ready to be there and swings a hot bat and, can make contact with one and do a lot of things, and Jason, Jason's Jason. At any point in time, Jason can put the ball over the fence very easily. So it's still a team that you can't sleep on, because you sleep on it, you're going to get stomped. But at the same time, on paper, they're not having the year. Well, not just on paper, but they're not having the year that they want to have. So that kind of sums up where we're at right now when it comes to the seedings and what their standings are. So make sure you kind of give us a follow that way. Last but not least, what I want to bring up before we move on to our interviews here is the registration is open for the MO WIFF Classic. We've got 3 teams registered at the timing of this post right now. We've only got 3 teams registered. So make sure you get in there, register your team. Even if if you're just making up a team to play with some friends, let me know. But I say for a team that got in here that just had a team name, we jumped on ChatGPT and had fun with the logo. Mark Vogler was me and him had a little bit of fun with that. But let me know so we can get a logo kind of pasted. That way we can have a little fun with some graphics and so on and so forth. But, just make sure you're kind of following the link below and flyer above covering my face right now. Make sure you get in there and get your team registered. So with that being said, I'm done here with segment 1. We're going to be right back with our hitter and pitcher of the week. And I promise you, it was entertaining. So with that being said, we'll be right back.
Straight as I would like, but
I'll fix it in a sec.
Oh, that pitch hit him right in the head. Is he going to take the base? He is. So the new 2 count now to Ethan Bailey, runner on first. Nobody out. There's a good pitch there. Strike 3 as they try to rebuild their roster. But Sam Eichenlob here trying to be a big part of this. I'm not sure if that's what that is. There's strike 3, though. Ball doesn't lie. Strikes him out. Oh, he puts this ball in play right back to Drew. Drew can't handle it. And that's going to be an RBI single for Q. Up at all times. And there's strike.
Not really an option here tonight.
Yeah, not really an option for them.
Played a few NWA series this year.
There's strike 3.
Nothing prepares you.
Oh, Drew goes down swinging. First out of the inning.
Is this on me?
There he goes. Strikes him out swinging. 2 away now. Rory maybe a little too aggressive there. 1-2 count. 2 outs. Nobody on. Gus versus Ethan. Oh, slows it down. Makes him just absolutely bails.
He's got those summers off. So
oh, yuck. That ball hits right off the top of the zone for a strikeout. Captain Rory Rank strikes him out looking. He strikes out the side. It's just enough strikes to keep you honest, and then he gets you to chase ones in the dirt like that for the first. Here to Sam Eichenlaub, one away. Gets him to chase one in the dirt again. There's another 2-2 count now, 2 outs, top of the 5th, down 2, strikes him out, and the Mojo take game 1. 2-1 count now. Q up the middle, it does it again, and Sam misses it.
Wow, I don't think the ball took it. Just stayed
The ball
down.
did not jump at all, and he played the hop. And that Kings team did that tip the zone? I think it did. Strike 3. Gee.
Swings and misses.
Oh my God, that ball Sam was afraid was going to hit his head.
On the night, and they both have come
Oh,
in RBIs.
that ball is up the middle for a double, and that's another RBI.
Quentin Meyer.
2-0 Mojo. Q absolutely all over Drew Maurer. But Gus is just really hard to hit as he strikes him out there. He's just not look all that comfortable at the plate.
Wow,
And there's
off
a
the
strike
corner
out looking.
again.
We are joined now by our lit cigar lounge and for the second week in a row, but this time on the other side of the ball, our Buffalo Wild Wings picture of the week. Our hitter of the week batted .373 with 3 RBI and a double. He tallied both game-winning hits during the Mojo sweep of the Archers. He is my co-host for the 3 Up, 3 Down podcast.
Yeah.
Quentin Meyer.
Yeah, Q.
Yeah.
And then not to be outdone, his teammate at our Buffalo Wild Wings picture of the week, going 6 2/3 innings with 18 strikeouts out of 21 batters faced, giving up 0 runs, 0 hits. Starting both games for his Mojo, throwing a no-hitter in game 1. Please welcome back to the program, Mr. Gus Skibby.
Yeah, Gus.
Glad to be back. Go Mojo.
Yeah.
So my first question is going to be to you, Q. All right, how's it feel to win your first award of the year?
It feels great. About time I start hitting the ball instead of striking out every time. To get it against a good pitcher versus Drew and a team like the Archers and kind of the situation we were at in terms of standings. It feels great.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, Q, the 2 weeks I've been here, he has been locked in at the plate.
Gus.
And it's been a joy to watch him hit. I'm very proud of him. He did great.
Thanks, Gus. It's because you showed up.
Right.
It's just like you have some different kind of aura. It's like you're here and it's like you just lighten everybody up and we all play better.
Good times.
So my next question to you then, Gus, is this just going to be an every week occurrence? You show up, you're going to be talking me and Q?
No. I got lucky. My arm was feeling good. It just kind of happened that way. So no.
So I'll go back to Q and I'll kind of allude to what you guys are talking about. You've really turned around lately. You're 5 for your last 15 with all 4 of your RBIs this season in this last 4 games. What's kind of been the key to your turnaround? Has it been Gus's aura?
Probably that. And honestly, the Skibby Wiffle Ball weekend. So both Skibbies holding their annual tournament. I mean, that's a arcade style tournament where everyone's hitting the ball. So you kind of just get your swing back. You're getting confident. And, I had a good weekend and I said it before and I said it to my teammates this weekend, we're going to unlock our swings again. And here we are. Everyone seems to be hitting the ball and seeing the ball really well.
Yeah, Q also, he's not swinging at any balls. And I feel like that's your key right now is you're seeing the ball extremely well and you're making great swings. So kudos to you, Q.
Thanks, Gus.
Now to Gus. So besides hitting Rory in the first inning of game 1 on the second or third pitch?
Yeah.
You went perfect from there on out. Okay. So how does it feel? How does it feel to know the fact you went perfect for damn near 7 straight innings?
Yeah, and I didn't even know that was a rule, the first batter, when I hit Rory in the head. I had no idea. So I turned around, I was grabbing the ball. It would have been 2 balls, and then he walked away, and I was really confused. So that's kind of a bummer. But yeah, my arm was feeling really well. The fastest I've ever pitched in any fast pitch wiffle ball was last week. So hit 90 on the gun for the first time and did it a lot. So yeah, my arm was feeling great. And Yeah, pitches were working and effectively wild, as Jason Worsenholm said on the call. So yeah, it worked out great.
So let me stay right there since you kind of brought it up. You're 9-2 in your Mo WIFF career, including playoffs, with a 1.08 ERA, 109 strikeouts over 41 innings. Now, you don't play fast pitch regularly or as much as you probably would like to, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Being living in Kansas City. So how do you keep your body and your arm in shape to be able to come and throw the way you do?
Uh, let's see. Well, I didn't pitch at all from when was the championship? Was that
October 17th.
October to May? I didn't pitch at all. So I think just not pitching saves my arm. I mean, I'm 33, so if I pitch frequently, I'm going to do something to my arm. So I think just having like 6 months of a break just to like heal everything, and then have a 6-month period where I'm pitching helps my arm out a lot. So that's kind of my foolproof method that I use. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that question was just sitting right there. I was like, all right, he's already talking about it. So then I'll follow up with this. What is your favorite pitch in your arsenal to throw?
Oh, it has to be the 65 to 70 mile per hour just loop ball that I throw, and it only works like once every 10 innings. But when I can strike out a guy, I struck out Ethan Bailey, and you should put
Oh,
that clip in. And that was probably
the clip's
Sam
already,
even
bro.
said,
That clip's already played. Everybody's already seen that.
Sam even said that was probably the nastiest pitch that he's ever seen me throw. So yeah, I that was a very, very dirty pitch to Ethan, and sorry, Ethan, on that. But he bent out of the way to thinking it was going to hit him in the face, and it hit the zone. It was a good pitch.
Yeah, I was
The
watching
way
that
that
live
Ethan
when it
Weiner
broke.
was
When
good
it
too.
broke, and I was like, ah! I was like, oh, poor Ethan.
But yeah, that's probably my favorite pitch, just because it's slower than my 80s pitches. So yeah.
So I mean, with how tall and lengthy you are, 80 looks like 95 to me. Coming out of your hand, it looks a lot harder because you're a lot closer to the plate.
It's
But I
true.
mean,
That's
you're
how I
twice
feel
my
about watching like Pat Ballman pitch. Just
yeah,
he's
that too.
he's like at the plate, and it's very intimidating. I've never faced him, but it's just intimidating to watch him.
Pat gives you so many different arm angles, like your brother. Your brother,
Yeah,
even though you know what's coming when your brother drops down or throws from an arm angle, sometimes it comes out sooner, faster, or sometimes he stands up when it just throws you off. But those guys that give different arm angles, they give me the most fits.
yeah.
Even though I know it's nine, even though I have a good idea what's coming, but that's neither here nor there. Q, with your recent surge, did you know you are now tied with your childhood hero, Sam Skibby, for batting average this season at a
Oh,
.2?
nice.
I did know that. I actually looked at the stats today, and completely off topic, I found a fun fact that Tom Wilkerson has a better batting average than Colin Wilkerson. Thought that was funny, but yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Sam has been. I've always played with Sam since I started wiffle ball. I mean, a couple times I haven't, but most of the time I played with Sam, and it's just kind of cool to be like, hey, we're at the same level. Obviously, Sam isn't hitting at the same rate that Sam is used to hitting. Obviously, Triple Crown winner last year, MVP. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But I think Sam will jump me here in this next week.
I looked that up and I kind of had a solid chuckle. I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna put that in there.
Yeah.
Um, the sorry, it got me giggling because I put child on there. I laugh when I put it in there, and I didn't mean to keep it in, but it stayed.
Everyone loves Sam Skibby. What are you talking about?
Right. So the Mojo, this question's for both of you. I mean, probably more Q since you're only in your second week, Gus. But feel free to enter it. Mojo are 6-2 out of their last 8 games. After dropping the first 2 of the season, back in first place in the American League division. How's it feel to be back on top again?
Man, it feels great. We struggled early, but obviously with Gus here, that helps a lot. Jackson showed up, but job's not finished. We're only a half game above the Mamas and Archers. We got a big series coming up. So got to keep pushing.
Yeah, I'm an avid Mojo fan, so of course I watch the games.
Well, there you go.
I mean,
I feel like the Mojo's in a good spot, and the goal is to just make the playoffs, and I feel like we're on the right track to do that. And once we make the playoffs, anything can happen. So we'll see.
It's fair. All right. Now, Gus, you bring that up. What is your favorite part about playing at Mo WIFF? What keeps you coming back year after year and making that trip across the state?
That is a great question. I honestly, I love compete. Like the only being a 30, I mean, Brian, being a 33-year-old, I don't know how old you are, but
38. I'm your brother's age.
2 kids, and the only time you can ever compete in life is now wiffle ball for me. So it kind of keeps that competitive edge in my. I'm not like a super competitive guy, and I don't show it. I show it through like humor and being silly, but I'm very competitive, and I love to compete. And wiffle ball is kind of that out for me to do that, and I love doing that with fast pitch because I'm used to doing medium pitch for so long. Fast pitch is still pretty new to me over the past. Actually, sorry, I've been in NWLA tournament for now 13 years, so fast pitch is not that new to me. But fast pitch with cut balls is new to me, and I love the new cut ball things that you can do with a cut ball. So yeah, it's just fun to compete, and I love coming to Mo WIFF to do that.
I was jacking around the other night up at another league that me and Q play in, and I grabbed a ball, and I've been watching people throw screwballs with a cut. I've got one cut ball in the bucket, and I picked it up and I threw it the way that I was told to, and it just did a little, just like a little bit. I was like, yeah, I threw one.
That's what happens when I do it too. It just goes, and then it stops.
Yeah, I mean,
and then also, I'm sorry, I was thinking about it again. I love to play with the Mojo, and I think if the Mojo ever disbanded, then I'd probably not come back either. It's the team I'm here for. I don't want to play for another team. I love all the guys on it, and I love playing with my brother. So I'm Mojo or done for life. So,
gotcha. I can respect
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah,
I don't have a choice because it's my family, but there's nowhere else I'd rather play than this team. I'm sorry, there's nowhere else.
I'm on my 3rd team in 4 years, so I mean, I can't really say.
But hey, you might. I think you just found your forever home, though, Brian.
I mean, we'll find out, man. I hope everybody enjoys playing with the Thunderbirds, and we're able to make some noise, make a run. That's the plan. That's the plan to keep it going, to keep it back and going and run it back, whatever it ends. All right. So, fun question, Q. Do you only win Player of the Week awards against the Archers? Because your last Player of the Week was last year when we only did Player of the Week, and it was Week 17 against the Archers, and then obviously this week you win. You win your Hitter of the Week.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I play good against the Archers, which isn't necessarily a bad thing since they're in our division. I told my cousin, James Klein, I said, hey, man, you didn't show up today, so I messed around and just won Hitter of the Week. So thanks for not showing up. So that was fun. But, yeah, I guess I like playing the Archers.
I know. I was hoping James was going to be there to face him. I just heard some good things about his pitching. It would have been fun to see it.
I wanted to face him too.
Dude, it's electric.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Connor, and then there's Klein, and even though they both throw hard, right? Obviously Connor throws a little bit harder because he's a little bit more, I guess, been throwing the ball more and kind of, there you go, wiry. But there's just something about how the ball explodes out of Klein's hand a little bit different, where it's like a shock, like just rolls off the fingertips and it's on you. With Connor, with Klein, it just explodes out of his hand, and you feel like, or at least to me, it feels like you got a little split second less.
Yeah, it's like
see
this
the ball
much
with
margin it's like this much of a margin to if you want to
Yeah.
swing or not.
It's going to be curious to see where, in a couple of years where Klein is. Like, Connor's got a couple of years, got a little bit better pitching repertoire, if you will. But that's just my opinion.
I like facing James. Whoa, what the heck just happened?
I don't know. Nothing.
still
You
see
look fine to me. Yeah.
Oh, my computer just went. Oh, because my dad's calling me. What a guy.
Well,
What a
when
guy.
you talk to him, tell him me and Gus say hi.
Yeah, we say hi.
All right.
We love him.
I mean, you can speak for Gus there. I mean, I'm not saying no. Doug, I love you, but even though I texted you on Father's Day and you didn't text me back, but it's fine.
Dude, that's your first mistake. He doesn't even text me back sometimes.
Anyways, all right. So final question for both of you, but it's going to be the first one's going to go to Q. All right. So these last two questions are from a viewer. All right. So they reached out and I was like, yeah, well, we could probably. Well, I reached out and they're like, oh yeah, they gave me some good ones. So Quentin, if Hollywood wrote a movie about it, which famous actor would you pick to play you and a starring role about your hitting performance this past week?
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, I hate these kind of questions.
Hollywood actor?
Don't worry, don't worry, Gus. Your question's not about picking an actor.
Dude,
That's good.
Man, it's got to be something where like someone that's like good at starting off really sad, and then I'd probably have to go like Sylvester Stallone in like his prime because like Rocky, in the first one he loses and then the second one he wins. So like I started off really slow and I was down on myself. I was losing, and then I all of a sudden after like a break, which would be like in between Rocky 1 and 2, I start to win. So I think Sylvester Stallone would be a great one. Even though he doesn't look like me, it'd still be really cool.
He looks like you. Come on.
You could put a little ginger wig on him and let him go.
Yeah. Or you could just say, go with Seth Rogen, and then just he looks like me, so that's good.
that might work. Right. So we're going Rocky. All right, got it. We're going Sylvester Stallone. All right. Oh man, this is gonna be fun. Gus.
Oh boy.
Think about a song that describes your pitching performance last week. And will you please sing us the chorus?
I hate questions like these. Oh my gosh. Think about a song that describes my pitching performance. Oh geez. I put me on the spot like this. Do you have any other questions so I can think about it?
I don't have anything.
Ask you another question.
No, you know what? Since I asked him the question, I'll ask you the same one. Since you had a little bit of time to think about it.
What same question?
The actor. Who would you?
Oh, I don't like that question either.
I don't like that one. Oh,
all I can think of is kid songs in my brain, like toddler songs. That's all I can think of.
Oh shit! You know what? It's all good.
There's a song. My son likes Hot Wheels. There's on Netflix. There's a Hot Wheels show.
Yep.
And there is a song called "Thrash and Smash," and it goes like this: "Thrash and smash, thrash and smash." That's the chorus, basically. And that's how I feel about the pitching performance.
That is absolutely perfect.
There you go.
That's going in the playlist too.
You get a Grammy nod from me for that performance.
Thank you.
You and your brother are great singers.
All right, Brian, I've got a question for you.
Oh shit! Here we go. All
right. If you could be another wiffle ball player for a tournament, what wiffle ball player would you choose? Let's say at UWiffs. And any wiffle ball player in the country, which one would you choose, and why would you be that wiffle ball player for that weekend?
God, that sounds so weird. It's like since I can only name the ones I know, and I mean it's gonna make me feel like I want to wear their skin. If I could have the same experience. All right, I'm going to tweak it just a little bit. As somebody
no, you can't tweak my question. You are that person.
You cheater.
That's what I do. I tweak questions to benefit me. You know this, Q.
No.
All right. You know what? Right now, I want to be Pat Ballman.
Ooh. Hey, you get to play with me.
I get to play with you. That sounds weird. That's fine. But no, I think I'd want to be Pat. I think I'd want to be Pat because, you know, he's having statistically one of the best seasons in the country all around by what I've seen, which describingly is not much. I have Big Dan to thank for that, for filling me in on, you know, everything else going on. I talked to him a little bit ago today. But it's, you know, I think that's who it'd be. I think it'd be Pat. I mean, that's nothing but respect.
And you just want to be handsome like Pat too. That's what it is.
I mean, you also want to be like 6'5".
I think it's more height, right?
That's what it is, Brian.
I've only been 5'5" for the last 3 years. Okay. I went to a chiropractor. He worked my back out, and by the time we were done after the 3 months, everything, I'd grown 2 inches because he'd helped me straighten up my back. It was great.
No, that's a good answer. I'd want to be Pat too, I think. Just purely looks though, not skill.
He's a good looking dude. He's a good looking dude.
Man, I'd probably have to say, oof. I'm gonna go with Jordan Robles.
Yeah, after the mall weekend that he had this past weekend. Yeah,
that was crazy.
22 scoreless, 22 perfect innings. Sorry.
Perfect innings.
Yeah.
He pitched 13 perfect innings in the finals.
How long that game? Or is it like a series?
1 game.
13 inning game? Jesus.
Straight. Perfect. And then he threw in the semis perfect. Insane.
That reminds me. I need to get Wheeler and Pat on here to talk about their game from Thursday as well. Maybe we'll do that next week, Hugh. What do you think? Get them on here since we don't have games this week. Get them on together. Sit there and have.
Why are there no games this week?
I don't know.
Assuming Father's Day and just a week off. I don't know.
Okay.
Gentlemen, I appreciate your guys' time today. So for the last time, a round of applause for our Lit Cigar Lounge and our Buffalo Wild Wings pitcher of the week and hitter of the week. So with that, should get some cigars for that next time.
That was a cigar, yes.
But no. Yeah, Q was a little question there. But no, I'll be right back to go over, I don't know what I'm going to be back with. Honestly, haven't thought about it since I don't have games prep next week. Who knows? Might have something a little fun. But with that being said, stick it to and find out.
Go Mojo. Thanks, Brian.
Yep. So I know I played around with the idea of us having a little fun here in the third segment here, but unfortunately wasn't able to make that happen tonight, boys and girls. So I do apologize for that. I guarantee in the next couple weeks we're going to have a lot of fun, going to have a lot of different kind of guests on. Some players that we have in the league, some players that aren't in the league. We're going to kind of mix it up a little bit and kind of bring some fresh perspective and fresh content your guys' way. But I still wanted to give us a proper sign off. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ding that bell. That way you're alerted for anything MO WIFF that comes across the YouTube channels. Still going to be following up this week. We're going to have a 56 and under from Mr. Sam Skibby. I know Jason's fast pitch episode is running a little behind what normally would be scheduled. Obviously with Father's Day weekend over the weekend, you know, that kind of throws a hamper and a wrench into all of our plans. But from the 3 Up 3 Down crew, I want to wish all the dads out there a very happy Father's Day. Hope you guys got some much deserved relaxation and spend time with family. So we want to, you know, that's something that's what drives us all is our family, right? But with that being said, Q.
Peace out from Bar O'Brien.
He said it. We'll see you guys next week.